Very good afternoon to all of you. And let me share my presentation with all of you so that I can start today's session. So just a second, let me share the screen. So thank you, sir, for again inviting me and giving me this opportunity to deliver today's talk that is on research support services and academic libraries. So again, this is very important area for the library science professionals where they can not only fulfill the information requirement of their users, but also by providing various research support services, they can help their parent institutions in terms of achieving the aims and objective which is related to the research and the publications. So this is the agenda of my today's presentation. So I will discuss with you in brief what is basically a research support services, what are the various types of research support services currently offered by academic libraries of world-class universities, and how we can implement these research support services in academic libraries. So on these agenda or on these topics, I am going to deliver my today's talk on this particular topic. Now let's start the presentation by this slide, and from here also you can see that higher educational institutions, specifically universities, their main focus on promoting research culture at university level so that they can meet the vision and mission of their parent organization. And at the same time, if you can see that universities all over the world, they are participating in various ranking which is conducted by various ranking agencies throughout the world. And at the same time, faculty member and the research scholars of any particular university, they are applying to various funding agencies in terms of getting a fund for their research project. So whenever you are applying for funding or whenever university is applying for any rating agencies, one of the main criteria on which they rank any universities are the publications of the faculty and the research scholar of that particular university and the citations or the research impact of that particular university. So by providing various library services, the librarians and the team of the library, they are basically helping the universities in terms of achieving their mission and vision, which is related to teaching and research. So when we talk about various research support services or what is research support services, so it says that research support refers to anything a library does to support the activity of scholarship and research at its parent institution. So whatever facility or whatever activity the library is doing or organizing for their faculty and the research scholar, which is directly related to scholarship or research, that service or activity is known as basically research support services. So the research support services has become one of the significant service of academic libraries in the context of e-research and data intensive research. And that is 100% true in today's environment. And if you see worldwide, all the developing countries or the well-established institutions, libraries, there they are providing this research support services, which is an emerging trend specifically in European Union countries, where providing information literacy and research support are necessary part of university libraries' core services. And this I can say with my personal experience also, because when I was at UK for this Commonwealth Professional Fellowship in 2012 as well as in 2017, I got the opportunity to visit some of the best UK libraries. And there I have seen that the library, they are not only helping their research scholar or their student in terms of locating this information, but at the same time, they are also helping their students, their research scholars, their faculty members in terms of providing various information literacy services and the research support services. So their library is considered as a knowledge center where they are not only focusing about the library services, but they are also focusing in terms of enhancing the skills of their users. That is why when you visit any UK libraries, there you can see that libraries, they have created various skills zone, and there is a dedicated library professional whose role is to teach or to educate the users about the various research tools available in the libraries. So there, the library, they are playing a very prominent role in terms of providing information literacy and various research support services to their user. And this type of activity is considered as the core library services when we talk about the scenario which is right now happening in the European Union countries. In Indian scenario, if I have to comment on this particular statement, I can say that some of the university libraries or some of the library professionals, they are taking proactive role in terms of providing information literacy services. Specifically after this 2018 guidelines of UGC, which is related to plagiarism and research ethics, where it is suggested that universities should incorporate various research related topics in their pre-PhD coursework. So some of the university, the library people, they are organizing lecture or they are going to different department and they are teaching students related to topics which are dealing with the research ethics, plagiarism, citation management, and various other topics. Some of the universities, even I can say that Delhi University, they have taken these initiatives very long ago, like I can say in from 2006 or 2007 onwards, they are providing information literacy services where they are going to different departments just to tell their user what type of collections, what type of services they are offering to their institutions. But still, if you compare the Indian scenario with the European Union countries, still we are lacking in terms of providing various research support services and various information literacy related services. And if you see the role of libraries in 21st century, it has been totally changed and emerged as a new role for new times, where librarians not only helping their researchers in completing their research, but also work as a research partner with researcher. That is 100% true, because when you visit any foreign universities, there, what the library professionals they are doing, they are helping their research scholar during their whole PhD process. Suppose if any PhD scholar, he is in the process of searching the literature, and if he or she visit the library and ask any library professionals that can you please suggest some of the tools or what are the tools available which I can use in terms of searching the literature, at that particular moment they are helping their research scholar. So in this way they are not just fulfilling the information requirement, but they are also working closely with their research scholar so that they can make a very good impression among the academic fraternity. And that is why if we talk about the research support services concept, it was very well taken by the European Union countries libraries and other developed countries libraries far ago as compared to the libraries which are from developing countries. Now, when we talk about various research support services, or if I wanted to give you some of the examples of what type of library services we can consider under the umbrella of research support services. So from this slide, you can see there are plenty of services which we are providing to our users. For example, if we are making aware or if we are delivering training to our users related to Mendeley, EndNote, Zotero, or any reference management software, or whenever we are helping our users or our research scholars in terms of publishing their research in quality journals, or whenever libraries they are providing any services which is deals with the copyright, all such type of services they come under the category of research support services. And there are many services which we can say that we are providing for our users that fall under the category of research support services. But if you wanted to categorize the research support services into broad categories, there is a one very good article which is published by Li Zhang, Gio, and Zhu Hang. This study they have published in the Emerald Journal, and the link I have given at the end of this PPT, where they have categorized the research support services into 7 categories. And these are open access, research data management, research impact measurement, research tools recommendation, scholarly publishing, research guide, and research consultation. So these are the broad categories of research support services which we can start, or which libraries they are providing to their users. Now, I will discuss with you about each and every category so that you have a better understanding about various research support services which libraries they are providing for their researchers. Now, the first and very important service, it's called open access. And there is one study which is published in the Association of College and Research Libraries in 2017, where it was suggested that the open access of research outputs by academic libraries will be one of the leading trends. And in this study, they have discussed about the importance of open access culture in the libraries. And they have also reported that how libraries they are playing very proactive role in terms of making this movement a great success. So if whenever you have a time, the link I have given at the end of the slide, where you can just read this complete study and you can know the importance of open access services or open access movement in the academic scenario. Now, talking about what is open access, this you can see from this slide also. It says that open access is to make scholarly information more accessible and affordable to researchers. And for this, libraries tend to provide systematic and detailed open access services, which can include introduction to open access, which can include giving orientation to various open access repositories. It can include helping their parent organization in terms of developing open access policies or open access funding or journal checking and publication deposition. So broadly, these are some of the services which we can say which falls under the category of open access. Now, whenever we talk about the open access research support services in the libraries context, broadly there are two ways, or broadly there are two processes through which we can provide open access research support services to our users. And these are basically deals, or they are involved in the process of development and promotion of open access infrastructure. So the first process through which you can make your services or you can provide users open access research support services is through developing your own open access platform. And we all know that a growing number of academic libraries around the world, they have developed their own open access institutional repository. And what is their purpose? Their purpose is to make the scholarly publications which is produced by the faculty and the research scholar of that particular university to the academic world, so that any research scholars from anywhere of the world, they can access the scholarly content of that particular university. Like we all know the importance of Shodh Ganga, which is considered as a national digital repository of PhD thesis submitted in different universities in India. Now, this is, we can say, is a great contribution of India towards the movement of open access. Now, with this UGC guidelines, it is mandatory for every university to deposit the soft copy of PhD thesis into the Shodh Ganga repository, so that any research scholar, they can access this PhD thesis from anywhere of the world. So this, we can say, is the best example of developing your own open access platform, where your purpose is to make the scholarly content accessible to the academic community. Now, even various universities, various research institutions, not only in India, but across the world, they have also created their institutional repository of faculty publications. So what they are doing, they are making their faculty member research scholars publications through these institutional repositories so that it can be accessible. Now, the second method through which you can make your users aware about the open access platform is through providing links to open access platform. Now, many libraries in their website, in their library website, what they are doing, they are giving links to various open access platform so that the research scholar, they can use these platform in terms of downloading the full text of the articles published with different journals or published in different platforms. Now, generally, if you see that libraries, they are providing links to like directory of open access journals, directory of open access books, project Gutenberg, all sort of links we are providing for our users. But I'm not aware like how much libraries they are orienting their users or they are providing links to these one of the topmost open access platform like Oyster, like Core, like Base, like Digital Commons Network, like Journ.org, and Dissemin. These are world's topmost open access platform, which can give you access of thousands of millions of articles which are published in commercial publishers or which are published by the journals which are commercial in nature. So if you are orienting your user, if you are providing links to such open access platform, in this way, you can start or you are providing the open access research support services to your research scholars. Now, I am going to give you a brief overview of some of these open access platforms so that you also have a better understanding about how important or how good these platforms are as far as accessing scholarly content is concerned. Now, the most important common access open access platform is okay, it's called Core. This Core is basically a platform which provide access of 200 plus millions papers around the world. And if you just visit this website, it says that core mission is to aggregate all open access research worldwide and delivered unrestricted access for all. So what core is basically doing, core is harvesting research paper from institutional and subject repositories and open access and hybrid journals. So core currently contains more than 20 crores open access article which any research scholar they can access from this platform. Like for example, I've taken the screenshot of this article. This article is basically published by Elsevier. And if your institution is not having access to Science Direct, you can't access this journal. But if you are searching this journal through this core platform, you can easily download the full text article which is published with the Elsevier Science journals. One more advantage which core is providing to various organizations and various commercial vendors also, like in the libraries, we are taking the help of some of the commercial platform where they are providing the discovery services. And what they are doing, they are harvesting the metadata of scholarly content so that they can provide a single window access to all the library subscribed content as well as the open access content. So when it comes to open access content, majority of these providers, they are taking the metadata and full text from this core website because core is providing metadata and full text article through API protocol, which any institution or which any commercial platform which they wanted to take from this website, they can do it free of cost. So this is the advantage of having the core platform in your library website link, or whenever you are delivering lecture to your student where you are telling them about the open access platform, don't forget to use or don't forget to make your student aware about this core platform. The next thing is, or the next most commonly used open access platform is called Digital Commons Networks. So this Digital Commons Networks brings together all the scholarly articles, whether it is a peer-reviewed article, book chapter, conference proceeding, or any scholarly content which is published in any journal or which is published in open access platform. And one of the main advantage of this using this platform is all the metadata, they are curated by the qualified librarians and their supporting institution. So we all know that when a common man enter the metadata of any scholarly content, and when the library professional they assign the metadata of any scholarly content, there is a huge difference. So when you use this platform, you will get all the relevant scholarly content related to your topic. And if you just visit this website, it is providing access of millions of articles free of cost to the researcher. And in this website, they have also given a data related to different subject. For example, if you wanted to see how many articles are available in the category of poetry, so you can see that there are more than 18,000 articles are available, which this website has harvested from 225 universities, IR platform or hybrid or open access platform. The next very good open access platform, it's called Journ, right? Again, it is providing access to thousands of hundreds of articles free of cost, and almost all disciplines they are covered under this open access platform. And one of the advantage of using this Journ platform is Journ is using Google search feature. But how this journal is different from Google or Google Scholar is that whenever you search journal, it will give you Google search feature. You just enter the title or URL or DOI number of the article which you wanted to download. It will search through all the repositories or all the open access platforms available worldwide and will give you the full text availability of that particular article. In this screenshot, if it is visible, this article is again published in the Elsevier Science, and that cannot be accessible through Google or any other platform. But if you search the same article using this Journ platform, you can see that there is a one university, Koito University. In their institutional repository, the full text of this article is available. So you can download the full text of article using this Journ platform. So again, it is a very good open access platform, which is very much helpful for your research scholar if they wanted to have access of the scholarly content, irrespective of publishers in which the faculty and the research scholars they have published. Now, one of the very interesting and very good website which research scholars around the world they are using not only for downloading their article but also for uploading their article in an open access platform. The name of this website is called Dissemin. Now there is a concept of research visibility. So in research visibility, what we are doing, the research scholars and the faculty member, they are making their research visible to the academic community using various open access platforms, like for example, academia.edu, for example, ResearchGate, for example, Google Scholar. But the condition is whenever you wanted to upload your published article in these platforms, you have to check the copyright policy. And from library science point of view, we all know the importance of Sherpa Romeo website. This website basically tells you whether that particular publisher in which you have published your article, whether that publisher is allowing you to upload your article in open access domain or not. But instead of visiting to Sherpa Romeo, you can use this website which is called Dissemin. Suppose this is the title of your research paper which you have published with any publisher. So when you enter the title of your research paper, it will give you the permission. Here you can see that it is saying that as per the copyright policy of this particular journal, you can upload the preprint version, you can upload the post-print archived version, but you can't upload the publisher version. So if you have a post-print version on your desktop, immediately you can upload your research paper into this repository. And as soon as you will upload your research paper, it will be disseminated to the academic community, right? So this is again a very good platform which give support to the green open access movement, right? So this platform is again very much helpful, not only in terms of downloading the scholarly content, but also to make your content accessible through open access platform. Now the next concept or next service which we can consider under concept of research support services, it's called research data management. I know that there is a separate talk on this particular topic by eminent expert in this area. I'm not going to discuss in detail about what is research data management and how you can start this service at your institution. But from the research support point of view, I will give you a quick overview so that you can easily understand this concept and you can see the importance of providing this type of research support services to your user. Now, when we talk about the research data management, it is always better to understand the concept of what is research data. And research data is data or anything and everything which is produced in the course of research. So any data which you are producing or which you are analyzing or which you are collecting during the course of your research, that will considered as a research data. When you see the definition of this research data, different institutions, they have defined research data in their own way. But if you look at the definition which is given by University of Sheffield, it says the research data is a data that is needed to validate the results presented in scientific publications or the evidence used to inform or support research conclusions. That is 100% true. Let me give you one example. There's a one journal in the field of medical sciences, and the name of journal is PLOS One. So whenever you want to publish your research paper in this particular journal, there is a column where you can upload your research data along with your original research manuscript. And if you are uploading the research data, what you are basically doing, you are giving the reviewer, the editor, a platform from where they can validate the result which you have presented in your research paper, right? So now, even some of the commercial publishers, they are also working on the concept of data repository. Like for example, Scopus. Scopus is an indexing and citation database. And if you publish your research paper in any Scopus index journal, and if someone cite your paper, the Scopus will give you all the information about the citation and the H-index. Now, the similar concept they are in the process of applying with your research data. So very soon you will see there will be a facility for the research scholars where they can also upload their research data. So someone in future, if he or she will cite your research data in their research paper, you will not only receive the citation for your research paper, but at the same time, you will also receive citation for your research data, right? So this is the importance of research data, and this is how the publishers and the various commercial vendors, they are working on such type of platform so that they can preserve, they can make your research data reusable in the scientific community. Now, you can ask me a question like, what are the data which we can say that this data belongs to the category of research data? So any documents, whether it is text or words, spreadsheet, laboratory notebook, anything, questionnaire, transcript, photographs, collection of digital output, slides, specimen samples, database, whatever data which you have produced during the course of your research, that is considered as a research data. And if you wanted to classify the research data, broadly there are 4 categories. These are observational data, experimental data, models or simulation, derived or compiled data. So I've also given an example of different type of research data in this slide also. Now, The question is why there is a need to manage research data. From library science point of view, I think most of us, we are aware about the fair data principle. This data principle was developed and endorsed by the researchers, publishers, funding agencies, and industry partners in 2016. And as per this fair data principle, it says all the research data, it should be findable, it should be accessible, it should be interoperable, and it should be reusable. So as per this fair data principle, if any research scholar, they have produced the research data during the course of their research work, they should have a one platform where once they upload their research data, the librarians or the researcher himself, they can assign the metadata to their research data so that it can be accessible and reusable by scientific community. And at the same time, whenever you are using any data repository, that data repository, it should comply with some standard protocols and the format, so that whenever you can switch any software or you wanted to move from one data platform to another data platform, it should be interoperable. And these are some of the reasons why there is a need to manage research data, because it says that research data are a valuable resource that research data are a valuable resource that often requires a great deal of time and money to create. That is 100% true. Like for example, when we are doing our PhD and whenever we have to collect the data from our research point of view, we have to visit different university, which are located at different places. So we are devoting our time, money, and lots of efforts just to collect this data. And what is the current scenario? The current scenario is once you will submit your PhD thesis, once you will publish maximum research paper from your PhD thesis, we don't bother about the research data which we have collected, which we have produced while putting our lots of effort, time, and money. So that is why we need a data repository so that the research data, it can be preserved. It can be preserved so that it can be disseminated and it can be reusable by the academic community. And while doing this, we can also secure our research data so that it can be used further by any research scholars if they wanted to conduct the study on that particular area. Now, if you wanted to understand the concept of research data management, you can take the help of RDM Lifecycle. And in the research data management lifecycle, there are basically four phases. First is planning, second is creating data, third is storing the data, and fourth is sharing the data, right? So in the planning phase, you can draft or you can formulate all the policies where you can encourage, you can motivate your research scholars so that they can upload their research data in your data repository. You can formulate all the ethical and copyright related issues whenever you wanted to make your data visible to the scientific community. You can also plan a document and the checklist. So before uploading their data, the research scholar, they have a fair idea like what type of steps they have to follow while uploading their data. And once the research scholar, they will upload the data, the library people, they can assign the quality metadata to each and every research data uploaded by the research scholar so that it can be accessible. And once you will make accessible, it can be reusable. And while giving a platform or a data repository, you are basically giving a research scholar a platform where they can also store their research data. Like you can provide what Google Drive is providing. Google Drive is providing you limited space so that you can all store your data. The similar kind of storage features or facility you can provide to your ongoing researchers. So instead of saving their PDF file or their research data on their desktop or the pen drive, they can store all their current research data into the institutional data repository, right? And then what are the ways through which you can manage your research data? There are two ways. First one is data repositories. and the second is institutional data repository. Now, when we talk about the data repositories, there are lots of data repositories available across the world, which any institution or which any individual research scholar, they can use it in terms of making their data secure, in terms of making their data accessible, in terms of making their data reusable. So these are some of the common data repositories, and all these repositories, they are cloud-based. So there is no need to install any software if you are institution or if any individual research scholars, they wanted to upload their research data. These are Figshare, Bright Digital Repository, Dataverse, Open Science Framework, and Zonendo. So these are the most common data repositories which researchers across the world, they are using for uploading their research data. Now, I will give you only one example of data repository. This is one of the best data repository, and this is one of the data repository which is being mostly used by institutions and research scholars around the world. And the name of this data repository is called Figshare. And if you visit this website, you can see how popular this website is or this data repository is among the research scholar. So there are more than 7.5 million research data are available, and more than 8 lakh researchers around the world, they have uploaded their data, right? And there are 26 million pages this repository has created for each and every data. So you just see how popular, how important this research data repository is among the research scholar. Now we'll give you a quick 5-minute overview about how to upload your research data using this Figshare repository. First and initial step is to create your account. And it's very simple to create your account in this data repository. And once you create your account in this data repository, you can simply enter the metadata of your research data which you wanted to upload. So you simply enter the title, author, subject category, which type of your data is, keywords and description, right? And then you have to select the category, item type, and you have to assign the keywords. Keywords are the significant words through which any researchers, they can search your research data. But the very important thing while uploading your research data in any repository is giving the clear-cut description of your research data. Because if you wanted to make your research data meaningful, you have to describe all the research methodology which you have applied while collecting, while organizing, while processing, while presenting your data in your research work. So if you are clearly describing the research methodology part under the heading description, that will make your research data more meaningful, and that will tell the reader or the user of your research data what type of methodology you have adopted while collecting this research data. So once you are done with entering the metadata or enriching the metadata of your research data, then you have to apply the license. And for this, we all know the importance of Creative Commons licenses. Like for example, if you are putting your research data under the category of CC BY, that means everyone can use your research data. Even if anyone wanted to use your research data for commercial point of view, you are allowing anyone to use this data for any purpose. And if you are putting this data under CC BY, then the users, they just have to give citation of your research data. But if you are thinking that your research data is having some commercial value, in that case, you can put your research data under the category of either CC BY/NC or any other category like CC BY/NC SA or ND. That means you are not allowing anyone to use your research data for commercial point of view. So these are the different categories of Creative Commons license through which we can provide the access right to our users, right? And once you will select the Creative Commons licenses, the green button will appear here, and that is basically an indication that your research data is now uploaded. So if, for example, if you wanted to give access of your metadata initially, and you want that after 6 months of uploading your data, your research data will be visible. So if you are having any embargo period for your research data, that also you can assign using this repository, right? And then once you will done with this step, this repository will give you a unique DOI number for your research data. And this DOI will be a permanent URL of your research data that will, permanently store your research data in this repository. And one more feature this data repository is providing is, if you have your Mendeley account, if you are having your OrcID account, in that case, you can also link this research data with your Mendeley ORCID ID profile, right? So while visiting your profile, the research scholar or any other researchers, they can also know that you have uploaded your research data in this repository, and this is the link for downloading your research data, right? So after completing this thing, so this will be the final screenshot of your research data. So here you can see that Figshare also provide option where if anyone wanted to cite your research data, that citation is available under different citation style. So if I wanted to cite this data in APA format, then I have to select the citation style, and automatically it will convert this bibliographical information according to APA citation style. So this is the title of my research data. This is the description of my research data. This is under Creative Commons license. It will show the Creative Commons license, and it will also give the link from where you can download the data. And once you will upload the data, time to time, it will also give you all sort of statistics through which you can know how many people they have downloaded and cited your research data. Now, let me give you importance of this research data. This is one of the paper which is published by these author, and this study is published in Elsevier Science Journal. And if you see this study at the reference section, the first reference they have not given for any full text paper. The first reference they have given for this research data, which is available in this data repository. And these researchers, they have cited this raw Excel file, which research scholar has uploaded in this repository, Figshare repository. So now the people, the researchers, they are also taking advantage of your research data. And if they wanted to take any data from your research data component, they will definitely going to cite your research data in their research papers. Now, and if you wanted to implement RDM at university level, RDM is not only an initiative of library, because it's a big step, or you can say it's basically a big project. If any university they wanted to implement it, and you need a proper team, you need a team where you are having some expert from IT department, you are having some member of your research research promotion cell or research cell of your university. You have someone which is from the management side. So if you have developed a proper team, in that case only you can implement RDM at university level. And you have to follow different phases, like in the phase one, you have to work on the policies and the guidelines. In the second phase, you have to create your platform so that the data, it can be uploaded. And at the same time, you have to make your user aware while arranging various orientation program about your data repository. And then in the third phase, you can think about management of your active data, and then you can provide access of your research data at the university level. And this is very important tool for the universities if they wanted to make some data management policy, because these policies are very sophisticated tools. And if you select the categories, like for example, if you are getting a fund from some funding agencies from European Union countries, and if you know the name of funding agencies, you just select the name of the funding agencies, and based on that funder requirement, it will automatically create all your policy guidelines for your research data management. So this is one of the very valuable services which mostly European and Union countries or developed countries, they are providing for their research scholar, but at India level also, some of the universities, they have started this service. And I'm very much confident that in the coming year, most universities, they will start providing access of their research data to the academic community. Now, the next important research support services, it's called research tools recommendations. And these are different research tools which you can recommend or which you can make aware your users so that they can also use at their own end. So when we talk about the research tools recommendation service, the background is with the development of big data, researchers from all the disciplines are faced with the need of data analysis, management, and presentation of tools to collect and analyze data. Because it is very much true that when you start your research work, when you start your PhD work, you need to have a training or you need to know about various data analysis management tools so that you can not only store your data, you can also analyze your research data. And if we talk about the research tools, broadly, there are two categories. First is data analysis and management tools, and the second is citation management tools. Just for the confirmation, I'm audible and my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the first category is data analysis tools. So these data analysis tools are the softwares and programs that collect and analyze data and help researchers to make sense of the data which they have collected. So basically, these data analysis and management tools, they enables the research scholar to report results and make interpretation like SPSS, Power BI, R, or Stata. These all are statistical, or you can say data analysis and management tools. Now, this type of services generally it's not provided by the libraries because at the university level, university is providing the facility where the research scholar they can download the SPSS software or they can download the R software because at institutional level, university they are having subscription of these databases. So generally, this type of services it basically managed at the university level, but libraries they are not playing very important role in terms of providing this service. But libraries they are very active in terms of providing the second category of research tools, which we generally known as citation management tools, which basically help researchers to collect records or citations from research databases and are also helpful in citing someone else's research by generating bibliographies, citation, and footnotes automatically. And being a library science professional, we all know the importance of Mendeley, EndNote, Zotero, RefWorks, and generally these tools are called as citation management tools. And I know that in your FDP program, again, there is a separate talk on use of citation management tool in the research, and the expert will give you hands-on session on Mendeley and Zotero. But again, because this service again falls under the category of research support services, so here I will give you a quick overview so that if you are new to this concept, you can see the importance of providing this type of services at university level. So these citation management tools, these are also known as reference manager or the citation manager. And these are basically a software through which you can arrange hundred or thousands of bibliographies within a second or within a minute. And these are so much reliable, these are so much accurate that if you are using Mendeley, EndNote, or Zotero for managing all your references, there are very less chances if you cannot properly write all these bibliographical information according to any citation style. Generally, what is happening nowadays in universities, whenever the research scholars, they have to arrange all their bibliographical information, they are going to the cyber cafe and they are taking the help of some of the typists or the person who is working there, and that person is managing all the references, but that person is not aware about the importance of these citations or bibliographies which we have to arrange according to different citation style. Because if you follow any citation style, like for example AP, there is importance of comma, there is importance of semicolon, there is importance of full stop, but for a common man, he can't realize the importance of comma, and he can't differentiate between the importance of comma and semicolon. So generally, when you take help of such type of person, there is always a chance where there is always a error you can see while arranging all your references. But if you are training your research scholar at the beginning of their research about any reference management software, whether it is EndNote, Zotero, or Mendeley, they will start using this software at the early stage of their research, and they will also realize the importance of using these tools. So mostly these reference managers, they can import data directly from the bibliographical database or from web browser, right? So if you are searching any article from Scopus database, and for example you have selected 100 articles, and these 100 articles you wanted to cite in your PhD thesis, so if you are having access of Scopus or Web of Science, you just select all these articles, export all the bibliographical details in the BibTeX format, and all these softwares, they have a capability where they can directly import all the bibliographical information using BibTeX format, right? So these are some of the screenshot of reference management software like Zotero, or EndNote. All these are very powerful software. So what you have to do is you just have to import all the PDF files which you wanted to cite in your research paper or in your thesis, or you just extract the bibliographical details using any open access or commercial database. And once you will create your own library, then you just select the citation style in which you wanted to give citation, and these software will automatically convert all your bibliographical information in that particular citation style. But personally, I can say that Mendeley is amongst the best tools which any research scholar they can use while managing all their references. For me, because I have started using this software, I think 5 or 6 years ago, so I can see that this is very user friendly and very important software. But if you are using Zotero or EndNote or any other software, they also are equally good. So it's generally the choice of the reference management software varies person to person. So Mendeley is again very important, very powerful tool in terms of managing all your references. And if you are new to this software and if you wanted to use this software, you can watch any YouTube video that is available on the YouTube. And while just going to that particular video, I'm sure that within a 15 or 20 or half an hour, you will have expertise of using this Mendeley software. So these are the simple steps which you have to follow, not only to download this software, but also to use this software for your academic writing, right? So first thing you need to do is you just create your Mendeley account. Once you will create your Mendeley account, you will have this exe format of this software. You just save this software, click on next, 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 and the software will be downloaded on your desktop. And then you have to import all your PDF files which you have saved on your desktop, C drive or D drive. And once you will export all your PDF files, then what you have to do is you have to organize all your 500, 100 articles into different folders. You can create different folders, and under different folders, you can just save all your articles. And once you will import the MS Word plugin, then this is the screenshot. Once you have imported the MS Word plugin, Mendeley plugin, you just start writing your research paper. And whenever you wanted to give citation, you go to the Mendeley, search that particular article, and then you just select the citation style in which you wanted to give in-text citation or complete bibliographical citation that you can do within a second. And later on, if you wanted to change the citation style, again you select the different citation style, and within a second, it will convert all your footnotes, in-text citation, other references according to the citation style which you have selected. Right. So this is just a theoretical thing which I have explained to you. But in your session in this FDP program, the expert will teach you how to use this Mendeley software practically, and that time you will have a clear understanding about this software. But if you wanted to learn or if you wanted to use this software at your own end, to go to YouTube and just search any YouTube video on using this Mendeley software. Right. Okay. So these are about the Mendeley things. So I'm just skipping it. Now, the next very important research support services, it's called research impact measurement, right? And again, the libraries they are providing, the libraries they are playing a very important role in terms of measuring the impact of institution publications, right? Even in my university, whenever our IQAC cell has to submit data related to publications and the citation to either NIRF or any rating or funding agencies, they always ask libraries, they always ask me that, can you please provide us the 5-year data of Punjab University publications year wise, and can you also submit the data of the total number of citations which we have received. So this is the area, even in the university, there is a perception that library people, they have a better understanding about calculating the citations, downloading the publications using Scopus or Web of Science or any citation database, right? So these are called research metrics. And once you publish your research paper, your research is measured according to two different parameters. First is your academic impact, and the second is your societal impact. And to measure the academic and societal impact, we have a different matrix, which we call as a journal matrix, author matrix, article matrix, and alt matrix. This thing I have already explained you in my previous lecture, but here I just wanted to tell the library science people that you can help your institution if you are able to make, or if you are having a track of all your institution publications which are reflected in Scopus database. Because when we talk about the Scopus database, Scopus, whenever you publish your article with any Scopus index journal, automatically your paper will be indexed under your name as well as your institution name. And the Scopus will assign you a different Scopus ID. But there are many cases where I have seen that a single professor, he or she is having 4 different IDs in the Scopus. And why it is happening? Because sometimes the authors, they write their name in a different format. Sometime in another paper, they write their name in some different format. Sometime in the affiliation, they just write the department name. Sometimes they write only their institution name. So all those Scopus is claiming that they are taking care about all the spelling variants. They are taking care about all the affiliation variations. But even I have seen that for my universities also, I have seen that there are 4 different Scopus ID of the same professors. And some of the publications, they are clubbed under the department University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, but the same paper is not indexed under the affiliation of Punjab University, right? So if you are telling your user that faculty member and the research scholar, time to time, they can go to the Scopus database, and if they can see there are some papers which are missing from the Scopus, they take the help of library people, or if there is a 4 or 5 or different Scopus ID for the same professor, that professor can contact the library, and the library will coordinate with the publishers and they can do this data rectification, right? And you can also orient your faculty and the research scholar that if they are managing their org ID profile, which is basically a global registry of all your scholarly content. Even if the faculty and the research scholars, they are maintaining their org ID, there will be a less chance where the Scopus will show you some wrong data under your name or under your affiliation institution name, right? So this is another area where we can take a proactive role, and we can provide this type of services where we can help our faculty member in terms of managing all their research publications which are indexed by global indexing and citation databases. Similarly, Clarivate Analytics or Web of Science, they are also providing researcher ID facilities for individual research scholar, and that for creating the research ID, you have to contact or you have to create your own profile, right? So if your institution is managing this researcher ID, or if you're the library, they are helping their institution in terms of updating all their data which is available in Scopus and researcher ID. In that case, definitely you are contributing, definitely you are helping your institution, not only in terms of getting a higher citations of your research paper, or not only in terms of getting the rating for your all publication and citing, but in terms of making a good impression or good perception of your institution, right? The next research support services which universities they are offering, it's called subject guides, right? And what are these subject guide or research guides? These are well organized system that can increase researcher efficiency of access to the academic resources in their respective fields. And the goal of this research guide is to include all the collections which are available to a particular subject. Sometimes these are called research guides, subject guide, or topic guides. For example, Delhi University Library System, they have also created a subject guide where they have bring together all the subject related information under one subject category. Because what is happening right now is we are subscribing to millions of articles through various commercial publishers, and at the same time we are also orienting our users of various open access platform. So what is happening is when the users they are searching the scholarly content, there are lots of information which are scattered in different platforms. So through research guide or subject guide, what librarians they can do is they can filter out the information related to different subject areas or different topics which are scattered in different platforms, and they can bring at the single platform, so that if any research scholars who is from the history background, you just click on that particular tab and all the related information we can provide at that particular subject portal page. And for this only, in the 2009, I have developed the Punjab University Chemistry Portal. And that news was featured in the PC Quest magazine, which is considered as a very good magazine in the field of computer science. And they have published one-page report about this initiative in 2009. And even if you visit to the Punjab University Library, I have given the access of the subject portal, right? At that time, I have created the different portal, but right now I am in the process of developing an in-house platform where I am trying to build, or trying to collect the information from different sources, and that can be accessible under different subject heading or the research guides, right? Now, the next category of research support services we called as a scholarly publishing. Now, if you see in the developed country, this concept they have already started 5 or 10 years ago. But in Indian scenario, I'm not sure that how much universities they are having their publication unit. Like for example, Oxford University Press or Cambridge University Press or University of College London Press. So what these institutions they are doing, they are taking the help of libraries and they are publishing the books, they are publishing the edited books, not only written by the faculty member or the research scholar of that particular university, but if any research scholar from some other university, they wanted to publish their book with the UCL Press or Oxford University Press or Cambridge University Press, they can approach these institutions as a publishers also. Generally, we approach commercial publishers, but there's a concept of scholarly publishing, and under this service, these institutions, they are taking help of academic libraries as a new form of scholarly communication service, which involves the organized production, dissemination, display, and preservation of academic results in the form of books, periodicals, research data, and institution repository. Although in Punjab University we have different publication bureau which help the faculty member and the research scholar if they wanted to publish their books or their edited books with Punjab University Publication Bureau. But they are not having a tie-up with libraries. But if you see this scholarly publishing concept, institution is giving this responsibility to the libraries. And the libraries, they are taking a very proactive, they are playing a very proactive role in terms of making their institution, establishing their institution as a publisher also, right? These are some of the example of well-known scholarly publishing at the university level. Now, the next category of research support services is licensed librarianship. This is again a very good service which libraries they can start for their research scholars. This concept was already very well taken by the developed countries, and under this licensed librarianship, what they are doing, they are establishing a system for framing the work and organization structure of the academic library to effectively meet the need of the faculty and the student. So the licensed librarians, they are playing a key role in developing research support relationship with individuals and groups, right? So even during my Commonwealth Professional Fellowship, I visited many libraries, and what I have seen that their libraries, they have created a page where they are not only telling about the only staff name, like Dr. Neeraj Kumar Singh, Deputy Librarian, contact number, email. Not like this. They are giving each and every library professionals brief bio, and at the same time they are also telling to their user what type of services or what type of activities that person is doing in the library. Like for example, if you see the licensed librarianship page of Grand Valley State University, so what they have done, they have created a licensed librarianship page where they have explained the roles and responsibility of each and every library professional. For example, if I am doing, or my responsibility at Punjab University to train our user about using reference management software, or to train my user about using any anti-plagiarism software tool, or my responsibility or my job profile is to make our research scholar a sort of, or to provide my research scholar a help so that they can publish their research paper in a quality index journal. So the same information you can see in the licensed librarianship page. So suppose if any users, they wanted to take the help of library people, they can go to this page, they can see their profile, they can also see the job responsibility, and according to their information need, they can contact to that particular librarian, and he or she can fix the appointment on that particular date, and then that person will help to that particular research scholar if there is anything which is related to research, if anything which is related to accessing the information, or any services which can help the research scholar in terms of doing their research. So again, this is the concept, or you can say this is a service which libraries they are providing to their research scholar and the faculty member, and this is called as a licensed librarianship. Now, to conclude my presentation, I wanted to say that the arrival of this big data era and the formation of e-research environments leads to the emergence of variety of new challenges to the researchers. And that is 100% true, because in the university scenario, you can see that there are some research scholars which are highly exposed to these IT technologies, but there are few research scholars which they are coming from different backgrounds, so they don't have such type of exposure of IT or the technology. And if they start using the library database and if they start searching various open access platforms, they will find a lot of data is available. So this is creating a challenge to the researchers. Therefore, consulting, educating, and training opportunities are important for researchers to update their knowledge system and master new technologies and tools to improve their research efficiency. As I already discussed with you, is library role is not just to provide information to their research scholar, but at the same time, we have to also act like a skill zone. Library has to act as you know a center where we can not only give training to our users, but at the same time we can also develop certain skills which are needed for their research and teaching purpose. That is why the libraries, they are facing the transformation of knowledge innovation mode. Academic libraries, they should promote the research support services actively and make it become the norm, right? And then through research metrics, we can help our institutions in terms of whenever they are participating for any funding agency, whenever they are participating for any rating agencies, and the libraries, they can play a very active role where they can provide all the data which is required for the publications point of view, all the data which is required from the citations point of view. And at the same time, through research support services, we have to develop a collaborative environment with the Dean Research Office so that at institutional level also we can start engaging our users with more research community services or with more research support services. And to conclude this presentation, I just wanted to say that the success of resource support services depends greatly on the comprehensive capabilities of librarians. So first, we have to train our library science people, we have to train our library professionals so that once they will get the training of all these emerging tools and technologies which is related to research, they can help their research scholars in terms of accessing the information, in terms of building the skills and making them aware about the various research tools which are now available. So I'm sure that academic libraries in India also, although most of the libraries, they are already started some of the services, but still there are few research support services which libraries they have to start so that we can make a good relationship or we can make a good impression amongst our academic fraternity. And at the same time, we can also help our institution in terms of achieving the mission and vision of our parent institution. So that's all for my today's presentation. So thank you very much for listening to me. Still we